back to this week's hashtag Finance Friday. And we are finishing off this month as we've been talking about fear of failure. And I've asked Tanya to come back, and we're going to be flipping the tables where last week I was interviewing her. She is going to be interviewing me. So Tanya, I'm going to hand over to you, and you're going to be leading this conversation. Go for it.
Welcome, everybody. It's good to be back. And as you know, I am in charge of POps here at UPvisor, so in charge of taking care of the people who form part of the very important team. And today we are going to be interviewing Kristine as an important member of our team. In fact, she is the founder of the UPvisor team. And she has been engaging in multiple endeavors throughout this time since 2018 when UPvisor was launched. But today we want to double click to just take a moment to reflect and have a look at all the initiatives she's currently part of. So Kristine, I know that you have had many balls that you've been juggling over the last number of years, but tell us about the most recent developments and the projects that you're part of at the moment.
Yeah, thanks, Tanya. Yeah, so I have been in a very privileged situation where I think it was about somewhere between August and October last year. I felt like there were a lot of things that happened in October last year. But anyway, I was approached by someone that I met during a networking event, and they are with a brick and mortar high school. And this high school was in the process of looking at how they can pivot during COVID. You know, everyone was going online, and they had successfully managed to launch their online program very quickly after COVID started. They were able to actually help their kids online, which was great. And so they were like, okay, well, we think this is a really good idea to actually have a separate standalone online high school. So the gentleman approached me and he asked me to take on the project management role, as well as doing a little bit of financial consulting, helping them to put business valuations together, forecasts, budgets, all of those types of things. And we sort of walked out this journey with them. And so finally, in the middle of September, we managed to launch the school to the public, and it's called Woodridge Connect. And we are really set to transform the landscape of education. That is what we are hoping to do, and we have very big plans, and I'm very excited for it. And they have asked me to take on the role of CEO within the school. So lots of pressure, but I'm very excited.
That is very, very exciting, and it's an enormous project. Now, I can imagine that this ties in so nicely with this month's theme regarding fear of failure. You know, this is really trying something new and putting yourself out there, taking risks. Tell me, how did this journey go? I'm sure up until that moment, as I can hear, it's been a long journey to reach that point where you can, say go. How did that go? Was that a smooth road? Was that a bumpy road? What did that look like?
Yeah, I think by no means is any journey like this going to ever be smooth sailing. I didn't realize how much work is required to actually start a school from scratch. Like I was reflecting with someone yesterday, and I was saying, when I started UPvisor, I'm a CA, it's easy. I can just start consulting or just start training. But wow, setting up a school is completely different. There are regulatory issues that you need to try and figure out. You have to register with certain departments, and so it's a very different type of setup than what I would have had with UPvisor. So from the technical issues that we had while we were busy testing to figuring out how this website is finally going to launch and having delays in that, it's definitely been a journey. And as one of our team members said, that we thought that we were signing up for a 100-meter race, only to find out that we've actually signed up for a 110-meter hurdle race. So completely different. Definitely there are going to be obstacles, and there have been obstacles, but I think as a team, that is really how we're going to be able to push through.
So Kristine, that sounds really exciting and incredible, but it also makes me feel a little bit sad, because what does this mean for UPvisor, and what does this journey look like for UPvisor?
Absolutely. I think it's been a very difficult decision to make in terms of transitioning out of UPvisor and into Woodridge Connect, although I'm very excited for where Woodridge Connect is going to be able to take us, and my vision that I've always had with UPvisor, I'll be able to extend through Woodridge Connect, and that's why I chose to go that route. But yeah, UPvisor has been my baby for 3 years, going on 4 years. So it's very much a part of who I am as well. So I think as we look to close out this year, you guys have already met Taryn Kun. She's our chief executor, and we sometimes joke about how she's actually like going to be chopping off people's heads, but don't worry, she won't be doing that. She is really here to execute on your behalf, right? So to help save you some time and save you money and put you first. And it's been so interesting to get to know her since the beginning of July when she joined the team, and we've realized how similar we are. We have a lot of the same interests and we think the same way. And so I really believe that she's a good fit for UPvisor, and she'll be driving forward the consulting side of the business as I'm transitioning out and becoming much more full-time invested within Woodridge Connect. So as we close out this year, you guys will be seeing much more of Taryn and maybe some of our other team members as well. You know, we're still strategizing and figuring out what this is going to look like. But yeah, so there'll be less of me, but I will still be involved, and I'll be holding on for as long as possible.
You sound like a mommy who needs to drop her toddler at preschool for the first time. Yes. It's hard.
Attachment issues, right?
yes, and that little toddler will probably scream a little bit when mommy leaves them. But
yes.
This is ultimately what we work towards. I mean, I'm talking now completely from a parenting perspective, but you work towards your little baby becoming an independent, fully fledged adult. So it's really exciting to see that UPvisor is ready to take these steps to move towards more independence and growth and maturity. So that's excellent.
Yeah.
So in this time of you were saying strategizing, etc., which makes me think uncertainty. There's no clarity right now exactly what's going to happen. How are you coping with fear of failure? And maybe share a little bit more about the concerns that you carry and how you're coping with them at the moment.
Yeah, I think there are good days and bad days, right? Some days you think you're coping really, really well, and the other days you're like, oh, woe is me, as I said in our previous session. And it is hard, right? Because as you said, Tanya, there's a lot of uncertainty. We don't know what the next few months is going to look like. We don't necessarily know how all of our clients will respond or react to the transition. So we have had conversations with everyone, so it's fine. So yeah, just thinking about people that might be signing up with UPvisor going forward, they're going to be mainly dealing with Taryn and not with myself. So she's going to really be taking on the role of being the face of UPvisor to a large degree. And that's also difficult for me because, as we said, like UPvisor is very much an extension of who I am. So now them having to deal with someone else, do I really trust Taryn enough? And do I really trust the rest of the team enough to be able to do things without my inputs and without carrying on? And that's why there is a transition phase and there is training and support that we provide to the people that are going to be staying behind and who is tasked with taking this business forward. But I think the one thing that I need to constantly remind myself of is that alone, I can't take UPvisor where I want it to go. I need a team and I need resources to make that happen. And with this transition into Woodridge Connect, I think it's giving me the opportunity to really break away from me being the only one that can do things, right? So I've got staff members that can help me to do things and that will be able to reach more people and have greater impact as a result of that. So I think that's how I comfort myself, knowing that UPvisor will actually be able to grow much better independently of myself. So yeah, but it's hard. I won't lie, it's hard.
It's hard. And coping with these fears and concerns, they're expected to be hard, and I love your honesty with which you shared today, and I trust that our audience will find it comforting to know that they're not the only entrepreneurs who are, taking risks and making difficult decisions without having all the clarity in the world that you would love to have. It would be great. But I just get like a blank check of clarity for the rest of my life. That would be great.
That would be great, yeah.
Wonderful. So, thank you for sharing with us today. And I just want to honor you as well for taking these risks. And I'm so glad UPvisor is around and that you took the risk to fail by starting UPvisor, and that you continue to take these risks. It's so exciting and really inspiring to know that it's a safe space. It's expected of entrepreneurs to experiment with failure. So I love that you shared that with us today.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Tanya. I just want to share something that I wanted to actually mention during our previous session together, and it's what FAIL stands for. And it says it's the first attempt in learning, right? So every step that you feel like you're failing at, consider how you can learn out of it. And this is reflecting back to Tanya's mindfulness course as well. Make sure that it's not like, if you don't process it, if you don't think through it, you're never going to get to a point where you can actually learn anything out of what might be perceived to be a failure. So really want to encourage our listeners and all of the entrepreneurs that maybe have been tracking on this journey with me as well, or where you have experienced failure, is to really just take a moment to look at how far you've come. And I can promise you that road that lies behind you is scattered with so many more good things than you could have ever imagined. Yeah.
So true.
Cool. Thanks, everyone. So we will see you guys next week with another Finance Friday. And I actually don't know what the topic is yet, so I guess you better just wait and find out. So we'll see you then. Thank you. Bye.